Little boot review today. These are the FRACAP M120s. If you follow my channel, you'll remember maybe that I picked these up just for Christmas. So we're pretty much at the 6-month mark. So I thought I'd do a little update, show you how they're wearing, share my experiences with them, and then we'll give them a little clean because they haven't actually had much care in the last 6 months or so. So they're probably well overdue a little bit of attention. First of all, if you want to know about the buying experience, how to order them, please do check out my original video. I'm not going to go into all the options that you can get because you can have these all built up how you like, with different sorts of soles, different leathers, different colours, different laces, all sorts of different stuff. Please check back on my old video if you want to find out more about that. But I would say that FRACAP have done a really good job of updating their website, so you can actually sort of build these online and you can check out all the different colour options and the combinations you might consider. So that's really quite a nice experience on their website. So these are in a navy leather with the sort of brown sole, black midsole, and the amber or brown ripple sole there. On my original video I did sort of say I'd be saving these mainly for sort of off-road use because these are sort of in essence a hiking boot. I think some people sort of took that in terms of I didn't think the sole was fit for sort of harder wearing surfaces. Obviously I broke these in for a few weeks before I actually sort of did any serious walking in them, and they're absolutely great around town. The sole is really hard wearing actually. I've taken off a few of the peaks, but not really any sort of notable wear from walking around town. No sort of deviation on the heel, which if you're familiar with my reviews, I always take the side off my heel. So it's pretty tough sole for city use. If you want to wear these primarily as a fashion shoe, which I understand is, you know, kind of where their market is as well, no big problems there at all. I would say that actually the ripple sole is quite hard in terms of, you know, it's tough, but you know, it's not very shock absorbing. Even with the insoles that are supplied with these boots, you might want to consider, if you're wearing them around the city, you might want to consider a dual density insole, just to take out a little bit of the shock. But it's really off-road where these come into their own. That's pretty much why I bought them. They look great, they're cool with some nice denim, but even better when you're having a good old walk through the countryside, on the sort of trails, all that sort of stuff. So that's where they really come into their own. Once you're onto sort of loose surfaces, mud, gravel paths, they're absolutely great. There's no shocks, you know, there's that little softer sort of surface that you're walking on really takes out all the shock, and they're really, really comfortable. I think some people consider the ripple sole very good if you're moving forwards, but if you're on a slippy surface, does it allow you to slide sideways as you sort of lose traction to the sides? Not found that at all. It is really good for climbing up hills, down hills, sort of climbing a bank, jumping over a stream or a little sort of river or something like that. But absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed walking these. I guess that takes me on to breaking in, because we talked about sort of walking around town and all that sort of stuff. So breaking in, there are no seams in these, so there's no hot spots at all. It's kind of like it's sort of almost like a leather sock, just by design, which I guess is the classic hiking boot design. It doesn't really have any hot spots to find in there. I've had no bad experiences of breaking in. They broke in really easily. I think the only one instance I had one of these D-rings just pinch into my toe, just on one day. But why that was, maybe it was choice of socks or something like that. But apart from that, no issues at all. So yeah, really, really nice boots. Very comfortable. Really enjoyed sort of wearing them off road. These are my walking boots now. in that respect, you know, have these worn well over 6 months, as they haven't been my primary boot. It's probably not fair to compare them with other things because they really haven't had all the miles put into them. But they really do feel like they're going to last me a long time in their chosen use. So probably brings me to giving them a bit of care. As I say, I haven't done anything to look after these at all apart from brush off the mud occasionally. In the package, if you remember my original video, you get some insoles which are in there. You get a little brush, which is useful. You get some leather cream, which we'll get onto in a second, and then obviously you get a few different variations of laces there. But leather cream is what I'm going to try out now. This is called a shoe polish, Reflex. I know nothing about Reflex, but this is what FRACAP supply in the package. It is a nice colour match, a nice sort of navy blue there. So I'm going to work some of that in, and I'll do one to begin with so you can compare the difference in colour and whether it brings them back to life or not. Normally I'd choose to use a more traditional leather conditioner, something like the Armstrong's products, which you'll have seen before on my channel, which just puts a whole load of moisture, sort of wax and protective coatings into the leather. Not quite sure what this is. Certainly good for the colouring, but we'll see if it actually brings the leather back to life at all. I won't be putting this on with the brush. The brush I tend to use just to keep the conditioners, keep the polishes uniform around the boot. Give them a little brush every time you put them on, and that will keep them looking as good as possible for as long as possible. I will be applying the shoe cream with a clean, soft cloth. So let's take the laces out of one pair and see how it goes. These laces have been very robust. They don't seem to have any wear spots on them. I quite like these. These are my favourite colours out the whole batch. So nice red, white and blue. Quite like those. Whilst the laces are off, if you didn't pick up on my original video, really nice sort of double bellows tongue there. As you can see, it's not allowed any sort of dust in there at all really. I'll give it a little brush out just in case, but the whole point of having a double bellows, I think, is probably to keep the grit and the mud from out of there, because as soon as it gets in there it will start wearing the leather and you'll get some holes. Okay, let's get some of this on the cloth. So I'll work it right into the welt as well. So that's got a coating of the shoe polish on. We'll just let that soak in for a moment. It's certainly restored a very nice deep navy blue into the leather. It does seem to have a sort of a conditioning property to it as well. Yeah, we'll let that soak in for a moment, then we'll get the laces on and give it a polish. Okay, so we'll give it a little polish. Put a little bit of lustre into it, but also keep that polish evenly distributed around the boot. Okay, let's get those laces on. Okay, so hopefully that's of some use. Very easy break-in, really nice boot for off-road walking. Kind of the intended purpose, but looks pretty cool with some nice denim as well. Very easy break-in, give it a little bit of care. Now I think probably what I'll do, if I'm losing colour, I'll probably use this sort of maybe every other time, maybe every other month, and most of the time I'll use a traditional conditioner on it, because I think that's all this leather needs. It just needs a little bit of oil, little bit of wax, whatever it is there is in conditioner, just to keep it supple and waterproof. As I say, if you want to find out more about the ordering experience, very good. Check it out on my original video. I'll put a link below. And yeah, really enjoyed these boots. Really enjoyed the first 6 months with them. I'll get the second pair all sort of oiled up now, or sort of polished up rather, and we'll have another 6 months walking, I think. So I hope that's useful. If you haven't seen my channel before, please check it out. We might share some interests. If you like quality footwear, denim, everyday carry, fountain pens, pen knives, coffee making, all sorts of different things, check it out. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up, and I'll see you for the next video. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.